to you, but so here's $40.
Oh, wow.
Okay, thank you. So I put it in my back pocket, ran into a gentleman who was there, and I said, are you going to take some hygiene products and stuff to go? And he was like, I have to have some kind of a backpack to put it in. They won't let me just bring it in plastic bags. It has to be my own private backpack. And I don't have one. I was like, gosh, dang, I don't know what to do. So my dad was there, and so I said, Dad, would you take this $40 and go to Walgreens? Because I know Walgreens is open 24 hours. And see if you can't find this gentleman a backpack so that he can take this stuff home. Well, Walgreens, unless it's back to school time, they didn't have any backpacks.
Oh, okay.
But in the meanwhile, my dad's friend, he ran into my dad's friend who lives right around the corner and said, where are you going? I'm trying to find this guy a backpack. And he's like, oh, I have a brand new one that someone gave him or he wasn't using. I don't know how he even had it, but it was a brand new backpack. So it just all worked out.
Wow.
I thought, that just... Now here, this man's life has changed. I mean, he was so thrilled for a backpack.
That's awesome.
Backpack. That you or I could, we need a backpack, we'll run in.
So let me ask you to remember us next time that happens, because we sometimes get backpacks as gifts to give away, and it's not a popular, people don't call in for some gifts, so they end up in the closet.
Oh, okay.
So we might have some right now if you know somebody who needs some.
It's amazing, the stuff that we don't think about. I know next year, for example, one of the things I'll be changing, we ask for non-perishable food items, but a lot of these people have no way of preparing some of the food that we collected.
Oh, wow.
So they were sorting through, trying to find things that were kind of like ready to eat.
Right.
Crackers, Pop-Tarts, things like that.
Wow.
So the canned goods are great for some of the people, but some of them said, we have no way of preparing this. We need stuff that we can open and eat, granola bars and things like that. So it's every year we learn a little bit more, and sadly we have to learn these things. We wish it weren't the case. As much as we love doing Operation Feed 100, I wish there was no need for it. It's sad to see some repeat faces, which there were some repeat faces, and it's like, wow, that's, whole year's gone by and they're in the same place, and it's like, you just wish something would happen for them.
I know. I used to, when I lived in California, I used to walk through a park in order to get to the job, and the job was at a pizza place on the beach, of all places. And the lady who owned the pizza place said, you're allowed to burn one pizza a day. And then she said, and what that means is that if you don't burn any, you can take one home for yourself. As long as the inventory shows only one above what you sold.
Okay.
So I would literally make pizza for the bums, and I'm sorry for the word, but for the people at the time, I called them bums.
Yeah.
I know anyway, sorry, I shouldn't have said. Okay. But anyway, I would make it for these guys. And I would take it up to the park, and I would chat with them, and I would say, is there any way for you to get out of this? I mean, if I were you, I would go to a church or something and say, can I use your shower? Can you give me some new clothing?
Right.
Can I shave and get my hair cut? Because I want to look for a job.
Right.
And that's how I would start. And I've often thought there's a way out, but how come they don't, just a tiny bit? I don't understand. And now some of them have mental issues. So they would never.
Right. Yeah. That's always a struggle.
They would never.
And there were some. There was a gentleman whose birthday was Christmas Day. He turned 75. So we were able to sing happy birthday to him. But like you just said, the hygiene, my thought with the hygiene as we were setting it all out was, and I said, what if somebody took this razor and this shaving cream and this shampoo and went somewhere, got all cleaned up, and this was their way to at least get the potential of a job interview.
Yeah.
What if you're a woman and you're homeless and you have to decide between, do I eat tonight or do I buy feminine products?
Right.
I mean, we've never been faced with that kind of decision to have to make. But then you stop and you think about, there are people who they have to have this, but you have to eat. And so what do you do? And so it's very, very eye-opening. And anytime there's new volunteers, and a lot of the volunteers are people that have been with me from year one, but there are new volunteers every year that come, and a lot of people want to bring their children because it's such a good experience for a child to see this is it for them. This is all they might have eaten today, and this is all that they'll have. And so it's very nice, and people they come up to me afterwards, and they're like, wow, the stuff we complain about every day, the things that we, I'm so upset because, my BMW got scratched, Okay, that is terrible, but let's face it.
Kelly, did you ever see the movie Schindler's List? by
Yes.
chance? Okay. Remember at the movie, Schindler's List, by the way, is one of the few movies you would see me cry at. And I had a hard time not crying. At the end of the movie, Oscar Schindler, or the actor who played him, looks at his hand, and I believe he sees a ring, a golden ring. And he realizes, because all along in the whole movie, he's saving the Jewish people who would have been executed, other than the fact that he, who was also a Nazi, was buying these Jewish people to work in his factory,
Right.
but his real ulterior motive was to save them. And so it was money that enabled him to save the amount of people he did. And he had the golden ring on, and he looked at it at the end of the movie and said, how many more could I have saved with this one ring? It didn't
Right.
occur to him that he still had, he could have done one or two more
Right.
people. And I think that's sometimes with us. You know, I heard Arnold Schwarzenegger talking about making $30 million for a movie.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, what do you do with $30 million? I mean, I'm not picking on him. He's just the interview I'm coming in my mind right now. But I mean, what do you do? I mean, you have enough. What do you need so much? I mean, so many people
it's
you
more
could
than
help.
enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's more than enough. No, I mean, I think the same thing. When I got home that evening, even just getting in the shower, I thought, you know, here I can just jump in my shower, hot shower,
Yeah.
anytime I want to, and have plenty of shampoos and lotions and fancy this, and get in my bed and cover up where I'm warm and protected. And
Right.
it's just like you really, every single thing you're so aware of, where before you take for granted. And so it's I wish Operation Feed 100 could happen more often, so we could intermittently throughout the year be reminded of that,
Right.
and not just at the holidays. But
And to put myself on the other end, Robin and I, when we were busking for the Literacy Council, now we were doing it to raise money for an organization, but not everybody realized that. Some people thought we were really begging for money for us. And so you had a few people who begrudgingly would lecture to us. And of course, I had good time with that on the air in the morning, but
sure.
but the whole idea is, can you imagine really being in that position and knowing that you really do need $2? You're not really trying to fool somebody for
Right.
liquor. You really, really do need $2, and you're basically standing. Could I have a couple? Any spare change? And you're really
Sure.
trying to get a couple dollars, and people being arrogant toward you.
Not
you
only
know?
saying no, but making you feel worse, blaming you, belittling you.
And in some cases, you see that's the only thing, you never know.
Yeah.
You know. So
Well, I think this time of year is a great time to start really thinking about things. You know, if you have a shirt on right now, just the fact that you're clothed where some people aren't, or they maybe are in the same thing they've had on for days. I mean, every little thing that we just take for granted. And so when you start the new year, now's the time to really start thinking about what are some things I can do this year. Maybe it's paying it forward. Maybe that would be a good resolution, is to start paying things forward, or just waking up every day and being thankful for what you have. Or when you start complaining about things, stop and think, wow, you know, I'm complaining that my, you know, steak isn't cooked right.
Right.
My
Right.
fancy steak, you know, or
Right,
something at
right.
Mark's, when there's people that they're having, I don't know, Franks and beans or something out of a can for dinner. So the things that we complain about and the things that we take for granted sometimes, now's the time to start the year with a completely new frame of mind. And if you've not volunteered at something like Operation Feed 100, I encourage everybody to do that at least one time. At least one time to give your day some kind of service, whatever the organization might be, whatever it is. If you've never done that, you've got to.
And chances are, if you go to church, your church is probably involved in some kind of a program where every week the pastor probably says we need volunteers, and there's probably the same dozen or so people that do it.
Yep.
And the other 90 or 100, whatever,
Yes.
they're just saying, no, it's not,
Absolutely.
that's not for me. I'll let somebody
Yeah.
else do that. So.
And there's 365 days in a year, and we feed people one of those nights. So that means there are 364 other nights that
Right,
go by that
right,
people
right.
have. And I'm not saying, I mean, because there's other people throughout the year that are feeding people, but there's 300 and some odd nights every year. And then there's lunch and breakfast and all these meals that we just run out and grab and eat that people are scrounging for and possibly missing altogether.
And two things happen, Kelly, with what you've done. You've helped out people. That's the surface thing you've done. But then because you're a public person also, with the work you do at Ocala Magazine and the work you do here at the radio and all the posts you do on social media, it also inspires other people. So you don't even realize, you don't even have, there's no way to know the residual effect of your good deeds.
Well, you hope kindness is contagious. So you hope that somebody participates and sees what you're doing and then they think, I want to do that. I want to do that in my hometown. Right. Or maybe I want to organize something for Thanksgiving or Mother's Day, or just, I don't know, open a soup kitchen that operates on a continual basis. Whatever it is, it's always my challenge every year. I'm like, I do this every single year, and I've done this for 3 years now. And there's got to be other people that think, I want to do this on my side of town, in Bellevue, surrounding areas, wherever it is that you are. So I always throw that challenge out there to people, because 100 people, 200 people is a lot, but it certainly isn't enough based on the statistics of, women and men and children that go hungry.
And you can probably quote the Bible better than me. What does it say? Whatever you have done unto the least of these, you've also done unto me.
Yes.
Right? So good or bad, remember.
Right, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Good stuff.
Thank you so much.
Good stuff is good stuff, right?
So I guess I won't see you until next year.
Not till next year. No, next year. Oh, that's right. It'll be January. Let's see. It'll be the 3rd already, won't it?
Yes.
January 3rd.
January 3rd.
Wow. Any resolutions?
Not yet. I haven't laid them out for myself yet.
Okay.
But thank you so much. This was a wonderful year, and Ocala Magazine is just excited about the upcoming year and some of the changes we've made, and certainly excited about our January issue. So make sure that you keep your eyes open for that.
All right. Great conversation. Thank you, Kelly.
Larry.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
What makes you look so good? Ocala, baby. What makes you look so good? Why don't you love me like I know you could?
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
ABC News Now. I'm Karen Chase. Utility crews are making serious progress in restoring power from Michigan to Maine after last week's ice storm. They've reduced the number of outages from a height of 600,000 to fewer than 77,000. Crews have been working double shifts to fix the grid.